It's my first day as a waiter, so I'm still trying to learn things. Our scrawny young waiter stood at our table, nervously smacking his order pad in his hand as he talked to us. It was my mom's birthday, and our family was treating her to a nice little birthday dinner at one of her favorite restaurants. We just wanted to have a nice birthday dinner with my mom. We're practical folks, and we weren't trying to have any sort of memorable moment. Just wanted to have a nice meal and honor Mom. But thanks to our very nervous waiter, we ended up having a very memorable evening. It's just not the kind we were expecting. So our young waiter had just announced to us that it was his very first day as a waiter. I could have told you it was probably his first day. In fact, he had already been to our table to get our drink orders, and that encounter was so awkward that when he left, everybody at our table just sat silently for a minute, just making that knowing eye contact with each other. Then we leaned in slightly and whispered what everyone was already thinking. This might be his first day. He was super nervous, super nice, but just exuding that kind of awkwardness that just taints the atmosphere, where even skilled conversationalists are rendered utterly helpless. My family, we're all nice people, easy customers, kind to the wait staff. So after he confessed his nervousness, we all assured this waiter kid that he was in good company. And we promised him we would be a really easy table for him. He seemed slightly relieved. Soon he returned to our table, still flicking that notepad nervously. He said, "I'm so sorry your salads aren't ready yet. The guy who's making your salad is in the bathroom right now, and as soon as he comes out and washes his hands, he'll make your salads." I did not want to have to think about my salad and an employee's bathroom visit in the same context. None of us did. I am not sure that him including the part about washing the hands actually helped the matter. Because suddenly I was aware of the fact that we just would not know if hands were actually washed. Absolutely no assurance of hand washing. But we never have that assurance, do we? And that's okay, because usually I am not forced to think about it. So I'm good. Ignorance is bliss. Taken aback as we all were, none of us were really sure how to react to that news. And we all blundered out some clumsy response. That's okay, just whenever he can get to it. Just make sure he washes his hands really well. The unfortunate part about this is none of us were even thinking about our salads. We weren't wondering where they were. We hadn't detected any sort of delay. We hadn't felt the slightest bit of concern regarding the whereabouts of our salads. So basically, we were just forced to consider the hygiene of our salad crafters' hands for no reason.
Don't think about his fingernails. Don't think about
So this waiter kid goes off to the kitchen and comes back with our salads. They seemed fine. As far as I know, they were nice, clean salads. At some point in the meal, I mentioned to the server that it was my mom's birthday. I do that not because I want a big showy celebration where all the staff gathers around, claps, and sings a jovial happy birthday song. I wasn't wanting a song or a show or for them to put a sombrero on the birthday mom. This was an Italian restaurant, so if there had been a sombrero, that would have been a little odd. No, I only told the server it was my mom's birthday because free cake! Chocolate cake, chocolate cake, chocolate cake. Period. Free cake. The waiter said, "Happy birthday. Since it's your birthday, you get to have a free dessert." I feigned surprise. Wow. Hey, I knew there was free cake here with any birthday mention. This might have been his first day at this restaurant, but it certainly wasn't mine. Ow! But I thought it just might make him feel better if I seemed really surprised and overjoyed at the mention of free dessert. I mean, I wasn't surprised, true, but I was overjoyed. Chocolate cake, chocolate cake, chocolate cake. He said it can be any dessert you want. Cake, cheesecake, pie. I'll go get you a menu so you can pick what you want. I wasn't certain that was the case. In my experience at that restaurant, they give you chocolate cake for your birthday. That's what's free, nothing else. You don't get any choice. but the cake is good. But I thought maybe they've changed their policy and now you can get whatever. I was like, fantastic, dude. And this time I really was surprised. So beaming, our waiter heads to the host desk to get a dessert menu. This is where things turn a little weirder. We were sitting in a booth. This restaurant had booths butted up against a half wall. And then there was another booth on the other side of that. So booth, half wall with this ledge on top of it. And there was a plant sitting up there. So if you wanted to, you could raise up a bit and you could peek over at the people who were sitting in the booth on the other side of that ledge. I was sitting on the inside right next to this wall, and I had already done that, by the way. I had already peeked over there. There was nobody sitting in that booth. My mom was sitting across from me, also sitting next to this wall, this ledge. Our seat locations matter in this story, so hang with me. Then waiter dude comes back towards our table with the menu, but instead of walking right up to our table, he bypasses us. We're all watching him to see where the heck he's going with that menu. He walks past us and then goes around this half wall. Now we're all kind of raising up to see what he's doing over there. He gets in that empty booth over there on his knees. And he knee walks down the booth all the way over towards my mom. These were those long booths that hold about 8 people, just a few people shy of the Last Supper. He knee walks all the way, the full length of this booth, holding that menu up high like he's wading through a creek at chest level and trying to keep some important papers dry. We're all watching him clumsily knee walk his way over towards Mom. He finally makes it to the end of the booth. He lays the menu down on that ledge. He slides that menu across that ledge towards my mom and says, "Here, pick one of these." My mom's having to raise up and crane her neck to see this menu, but she does her best. I think under these odd circumstances, none of us even thought to ask, can she hold the menu in her hand to make her decision? We were all so struck by the absurdity of all this that none of us thought to even ask that. So Mom cranes her neck and says, to my delight, "I'll have the chocolate cake." Yes. Waiter guy does another long knee trek back across the booth, this time in reverse. And we watch him awkwardly crawfish out of there. We all just looked at each other with confused expressions. None of us really knew what to say. Mom's rubbing her neck. In just a short while, our waiter comes back to the table, and this time he's got the manager with him. The manager comes up and says, "I'm so sorry. This is his first day here, and he's still learning the ropes. We do give you a free dessert for your birthday, but unfortunately, you can't choose whichever dessert you want. Our free birthday dessert is just chocolate cake. And it's not the regular dessert portion that several can share. It's just a little 2-inch cube. Just a little happy birthday bite, basically." My mom graciously said, "Oh, that's okay. I'll just have the chocolate cake that we can all share. I'll stick with the bigger portion."
Good call, Mom.
They both left and we continued our visit, happy that chocolate cake was on the way. Waiter dude returned with a hearty piece of chocolate cake. He also brought with him a giant industrial-size bottle of chocolate syrup. I mean, this bottle of Hershey syrup was as big as a jumbo bottle of laundry detergent. It looked like it was straight off the shelf of Sam's Wholesale, or Costco for some of you. I'm talking huge. He sets this mammoth jug of chocolate syrup on our table and he says, "It's almost empty, so you're gonna have to really shake the bottle to get any to come out." That's when we noticed that the chocolate cake was bald. It was just plain chocolate cake. There was no syrup. There was no frosting on top. Bald. It was taking us all a second to process what was going on. And while we were staring at the bottle and the bald cake and Assessing the situation, our waiter said he'd be right back, and he left. We chuckled to ourselves and we said, is this a joke? Are we on candid camera? So I pick up the bottle, turn it upside down, and I start trying to get the syrup to come out. I don't have any bald cake. I am shaking this giant, almost empty brown bottle and squeezing it. It's making this god-awful, not classy, not dignified. This wasn't a fancy restaurant, but it wasn't a burger joint either. They did have cloth napkins. I felt really tacky, heaving this giant Hershey bottle up and down, sputtering out some splats of chocolate while my dignified parents sat there, squirming in their seats and giggling and avoiding eye contact with the rest of the restaurant patrons who had turned around in their chairs to see what that noise was. But I was determined that my mother was not going to eat bald cake on her birthday. Neither was I. Just as I'm about to give up, because my arm muscles are burning out, our waiter returns with another giant industrial-sized bottle of syrup. He triumphantly sets it down on the table with a giant thud. He wipes his sweaty brow and proudly says, I found this in the stockroom. It's a brand new bottle. Still got the safety seal on it. It did. It still had the safety seal on it. He was so proud. I was so happy that we were gonna actually have more than just a sputter of chocolate syrup on our birthday cake. But I was also so confused. What was going on here? Was this guy just winging it? Had they not trained him? Was he just an odd little fellow with no restaurant etiquette? Were we on hidden camera? I have never in my life had a server bring the industrial size syrup to my table and let me slather my own chocolate syrup. I didn't know what to make of this. I still don't. But our family laughs about it all the time. We have taken my mom to numerous birthdays over the years, even fancy ones. But this one by far was the most memorable. And I learned something about myself that night. I actually already knew this, but that night I was reminded. I was reminded of my ability to look at a brand new industrial size Hershey syrup bottle and shake my head in disbelief at such a violation of restaurant etiquette, and think how undignified it is to bring a giant brown syrup jug to the table. And at the same time that I'm rolling my internal eyes in disapproval, I am breaking that safety seal. Hey, you got a crazy waiter story? I'd love to hear about it. Leave me a comment below.